North Idaho College proudly presents NIC Today, an informational news magazine that highlights the people, programs, and campus life at North Idaho College and the surrounding community. And now, your host and moderator, President of North Idaho College, Dr. Priscilla Bell.
Hello, and welcome to NIC Today, the show that gives you the news and information about the people and events and programs at your community college. I'm Priscilla Bell, the president of NIC and your host. On today's show, we're featuring the NIC Foundation, which is a group of community volunteers who come together to actively support the college. Indeed, the college is fortunate to have a foundation board of directors that believes deeply in the mission of NIC and that works diligently to help us succeed in achieving our goals and mission. They do this through financial assistance as well as advocacy. For example, the foundation supports capital projects at NIC, supports us in meeting critical needs, and of course provides scholarships for students. Because of the foundation, which just last year gave almost $600,000 in scholarships, thousands of students are able to pursue and achieve their dreams of a college education. With me today, I have three important guests. Tim Komberec, who is the president of our foundation board and also the CEO and president of Empire Airlines. Armon, who's the board chair for NIC, as well as the board's liaison to the foundation. And Rayelle, who is the executive director for the foundation and the director of development for NIC. Welcome to all three of my special guests. And then, of course, as always, it's a pleasure to introduce Mark Browning, the vice president for community relations and marketing at North Idaho College.
Thanks.
The NIC Foundation plays a pivotal role in providing programs of excellence and helping us, the college, to serve our students in the community. Rayelle, some of our viewers may not be familiar with the foundation. Would you talk about the organization's role and mission, please?
You bet, you bet. 35 years ago, North Idaho College felt the need to establish the nonprofit arm, the foundation, to reach out and partner with donors to educate the community about the needs of the college and ways in which private support could help the students and the programs and the services here at NIC prosper. And so for 35 years, that's what the foundation has been doing. The foundation's mission basically is fulfilled through fostering relationships with individuals, the business community, private foundations, and social and service organizations to create awareness about the needs of the college, unmet needs, and ways in which they can invest in the college and the students to help change lives, if you will. Tax-deductible gifts, because we are a 501c3, there are tax benefits of giving through the NIC Foundation. Ultimately, all those dollars go to support students and programs and offerings here at North Idaho College.
You talked a little bit about 35 years, Rayelle,
Yeah.
and the history of that. Give me some of the early years and some of the things, because it seems to me that when a foundation is fairly young, it's probably limited in what it can do. You didn't go from A to Z to where you're at today just instantly.
No. In 1977, when the foundation was formed, there were a group of community members who said, we want to help the college. And for about 15 years, they did that. They accepted gifts. It was they met once or twice a year, and there wasn't a lot of outreach into the community except for reaching out and talking about the college, kind of as ambassadors. So as I look at the early history, there were dollars raised through people left gifts in their will to help the college, students in particular. So those were the early days. In the last 20 years, we've been more aggressive and more visible in the community with our volunteers and our activities and our fundraising efforts.
Very good. Mick, I had a question in terms of going back and forth, your role as a chairman of the board and how you work with the foundation. Do you find that it's challenging to say, okay, this is a college role and this is a foundation role? How do you draw that line between them?
Well, we do recognize that the foundation is a separate entity that has a separate board of directors and a separate chairperson, and also a separate director in Rayelle. So we understand that, and you know, there's a very strong relationship between the foundation and North Idaho College. And as the Board of Trustees, we have a liaison, and I've been fortunate enough to be the liaison for pretty much my entire term on the board. I think I've been on the board now almost 12 years, and I've been the liaison pretty much that entire time or close to it. And it's a relationship where I have the ability to keep the foundation involved and informed on what's going on campus, and vice versa. I mean, there's a lot of dialogue that goes back and forth. We've been very fortunate in using the North Idaho College Foundation in some property acquisition. We've been using them for gifts to faculty and staff. I mean, it's just been a number of ways that we've had the fortunate opportunity to use the foundation in ways that it just benefits North Idaho College. And as a Board of Trustees, we are very blessed to have them.
We are. I concur completely. As president of the college, we're very blessed to have the foundation. And Tim, I want to thank you for the leadership you've provided to the foundation board. You're intimately involved with the direction and decisions of the foundation board. Would you talk to us a bit about the composition of the board, how you view the board as volunteers, how you go out and seek donations, and particularly, I think our viewers would be interested to hear about your stewardship of the gifts that they give to the College Foundation.
Absolutely, Dr. Bell. The board is made up of volunteers. I think we're 20, I think there's 22 of us at the present time. And there are people that really have a desire to see both current students and future students helped advance their education and to help NIC College. We are a wide variety of people from the community, everything from doctors, lawyers, businessmen, medical professionals, and so on and so forth. And many of the board members are long-serving, and they do it because they care about education and they care about NIC, and they want to see this college do well. The stewardship of the monies that we obtain, we take that responsibility very, very seriously. We have subcommittees and folks that do nothing but work with our investment committees to make sure that we're maximizing them, that when we make a decision on giving, it's taken very seriously. It's done at the board level. The dollars that we set out for scholarships each year, the stewardship, I think, is quite amazing. You can be assured if you donate money to the foundation, it is well taken care of. And those of us on the board wouldn't be on the board if we didn't have that type of public trust and care for it. As far as the fundraising goes, that is the most important part of what we do. We have a variety of different methods we use. We work with Rayelle and her staff very closely. Dr. Bell, we work with you. You are one of our head spokesmen, so to speak. We normally send you out on a trail of the maybe bigger and more reluctant donors to use your charms to obtain some commitments from them. But a lot of it is done through our personal contacts, the people that we know in the community, the people we work with every day, families, friends, estate planning. There's a variety of different things that go into it. So there's that, again, that is our primary mission. But above and all things, the foundation board members believe in what they're doing and they give first. So.
I know they do, and they give generously as well. We appreciate every one of them. And I should also add to your comments about the financial aspects and stewardship that the foundation has an audit every year. Mm-hmm. And in the years I've been here, and I think every year, the audits have been outstanding, and also provide assurance to donors that their money is being well managed and that the stewardship is excellent. Mick, I want to turn back to you for a second. Earlier we mentioned advocacy, that's one of the things the foundation provides for the college. As the chair of the Board of Trustees and as a longtime board member, what's your view of how the foundation board helps the college in the arena of advocacy?
Well, I think the foundation board operates no different than a lot of other situations on campus here. We all are friend raisers as far as the college goes, but we're fundraisers and friend raisers. The advocacy part is something that you can never get your message out enough. Mm-hmm. And
That's
you know, I as a board member, I think one of the critical things we hear is, you know, we need more communication. And I think communication is like any other relationship. The more you have, the better it is, particularly if it's good communication. And the board, the foundation board and the foundation in general is just immensely important to get the liaison between the community and the college. You've got a board of directors on the foundation that are all community members. And they have the ability to go out and tell the story to their peers, to the other people in the community. And oftentimes, you know, that comes off in a better way, a little bit maybe more genuine than if, you know, somebody that's from the campus is going out and trying to tell that same story, because the foundation members are the community members. Mm-hmm. But, you know, so their story gets a little bit more credence sometimes, I guess. Mm-hmm. And that said, I mean, there's nothing better than going out and talking to your peers about the advantages and the benefits that the foundation brings to North Idaho College.
You know, you mentioned something, Mick, there about advantages. And at North Idaho College, I feel like we have a number of advantages in that the way that we're funded. Mm-hmm. You know, we have property tax that comes in that we're very grateful for. We have student fee, tuition fees, and then we also get an appropriation every year from the legislature. But Rayelle, sometimes, as you well know, even with 3 separate streams of revenue, it's not enough in terms of helping our students come and get access to that education that we can provide here. And access and affordability is key, and that's where your role comes in with scholarships. Talk a little bit about the importance of that, and Tim touched on something with really how immense that responsibility is in public stewardship of those scholarship dollars.
Right. I'm going to talk on scholarships first, because that is primarily the NIC Foundation. 70% of the dollars they distribute every year go to student scholarships. 1 in 10 students are being helped through a scholarship through the NIC Foundation. The reality is the need is far greater. In that 7.5 out of every 10 students qualifies for aid at NIC.
It's true. It's a very high number.
Very high number, and we have a lot of students who are taking out an incredible amount of debt just to finance their way through school. So scholarships, and I think this goes back 35 years, the foundation came together to say we need to help people access NIC. We also need to make sure through scholarship that those students are being assisted, but what about making sure that the technology and equipment in the classrooms and the laboratories is excellent? So the foundation also funds an extra margin of excellence for teaching and learning at NIC to make sure, with limited resources, that an NIC student is getting a first-rate education. I want to step back just for a moment about scholarships. So if 75% of our students qualify for some form of support. And nationally, there's a concern about how much debt these students are taking on. Mm-hmm. As they leave NIC, their goal is a better job or a career opportunity, as we all know. They in turn become better citizens in the community. But as they take on more and more debt to finance their way through school, that creates a burden on the way out the door when they're working. So the NIC Foundation has always put at front and center the scholarship support, fundraising role, and they continue to do that. We have work to do, but we've come a long ways. Dr. Bell, actually, I just learned last week, the Foundation's awards exceed $700,000 this year to about 700 students.
That is tremendous. The Foundation is doing so much for students, and part of it gets to what I've heard our Foundation board chair talk about is the circle of giving. Our viewers may not be familiar with that term. Tim, would you explain what you mean by the circle of giving?
Certainly. Yeah, it's a pretty simple concept. You have a group of people that get together and they donate their time and their money and their interest and their passion to raising money for the NIC Foundation for the benefit of NIC and the students. And the hope and the goal is that the students then, with less debt and much better financial shape, or maybe money is the complete barrier for them to go to college, they can't even do it with debt, is those folks become, they get the training they need and they become part of our workforce, hopefully in this community, if not somewhere else. But we would like to retain our young folks in the community. And they become active producers. They become able to support their families. And they, because of the help that they receive, then when they're able in their life, will think about turning and either donating their time or money to help other students that need the opportunity. And that's really a very simple explanation of Circle of Giving. If you go on the internet and Google it, you will find there's all kinds of things, including organizations called that.
Oh.
That
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I found that out
Well, so
doing a little research.
It basically means you're helping somebody in need. That person has the opportunity to succeed, become a contributing member, and that person in turn helps somebody else in need. That's a tremendous concept. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
As so often is the case, you know, we talk about the importance of scholarships and everything that we're doing, but as often is the case, it's best heard from those who benefit directly. And so we'd like to take just a few moments now in our program and hear from some of those who have benefited directly from some of the NIC Foundation scholarships.
In general, any scholarship I could see meaning a lot to people because college is really expensive and a lot of people feel intimidated to go because they think they're going to have to pay loans for the rest of their lives. And a scholarship really, really motivates someone to attend school, get the education they need so they can go on and get a good job.
There are many students here at NIC that are non-traditional students, I being one of them, maybe transitioning from other careers. And it makes it a very easy transition to do that.
Scholarships that I received have helped me to be able to have the time to be involved at school and run to be a senator for 2 years. It has helped me to be able to spend more time with both of my kids after school and still have time to get my homework done and keep up my grade point average and stay on the Dean's list.
My future goals are to go on to become a high school English teacher. And this scholarship, especially because it came from a teacher's foundation, means a lot to me, knowing that I have support from this community to go on and eventually go back to my hometown and become a teacher there.
It is very gratifying to receive a scholarship. There's a lot of pride there. But speaking from my own personal point of view, I feel obligated to not only achieve great academic grades, but also to spread the knowledge of that scholarship and how it has helped me and will help me throughout my career.
You have a little thing that kind of motivates you to keep your grades up, and you want to show the people that have given the scholarships that you can do it, and others as well.
If you're looking for a school that has, you know, a low student-to-teacher ratio, where you feel comfortable in your classes and you'll know that you get the attention you need when you're having problems with stuff, a school that has a reasonable price and you get a priceless education, then NIC is definitely that school.
It was very, very comforting to know that you know your instructors on a personal level, and the caliber of the instructors are such that you would see at any university.
And so my goal is after I get my master's to maybe do AmeriCorps for a year to pay off my student loans that I will probably need to take for my master's program. And then I'm hoping by then my youngest will be old enough that I can take him and my oldest down to South America and spend a year down there volunteering and kind of getting a basis for social work. So that
Go NIC.
I spoke earlier about students achieving their dreams. And no doubt part of their success is also due to the fact that they know that their donors and others believe in their abilities to succeed. But certainly, one of the things the foundation does is open opportunities to students by making education more affordable. Mick, would you tell us a little bit about why that's so important? What do you think about affordability?
Well, I think affordability is one of the hallmarks of a community college. I think if you look at the community college system nationally, and particularly here at North Idaho College, two areas that we really stress are access and affordability. You know, education is becoming very expensive. I mean, we've seen, you know, the national statistics of how fast the cost of education, higher education has grown, to the point that, as Rayelle said, you know, a lot of students are leaving college now with tremendous debt burdens, and to the point that it takes them many, many, many years to pay off those debts, if ever, and there's even a lot of default. We've tried to keep that from being a part of the North Idaho College experience. One of the things that we've tried to do is keep affordability something that when a student leaves here after a very good educational experience, they don't have that tremendous debt load. I mean, thanks to grants and a lot of the other financial aid opportunities, as well as the foundation, that all helps. But the bottom line is, you've got to keep the cost down. And if we continue to see spiraling costs like we've seen elsewhere, then you're just going to take away the opportunity for a lot of students to even have the chance to go to school. North Idaho College is truly one of the last great opportunities. I mean, when you look at the cost of tuition at North Idaho College, it's approximately 50% of the cost of a four-year institution statewide. So for 50% of the cost, you get the same basic education for those first 2 years. You can't find a better opportunity than that. And we try to make it so that our students have the ability to come in, get those credits, learn a trade, learn a skill, get the credits to transfer on at a very reasonable cost. So I think that's something as a board we really want to continue to watch and make sure that we don't take that opportunity away from our students.
It's another illustration of how the foundation and the Board of Trustees partners to assure that these opportunities are available. I know that most of the money that the foundation awards does go for scholarships, which is absolutely critical. But I know the foundation also raises money for equipment and program needs. Would you share with us a little bit about that?
You bet, you bet. Each year the foundation has offered a grant program by which the faculty and staff can apply for innovative, creative resources to do something special that the college budget may not be able to cover. So they've been doing that for 19 years. They've almost awarded $1 million through that process. Other ways, program support. Recently, this last year, the machine tech program needed a new CNC machine, and so the foundation worked with that program, took college dollars, had some foundation private donation dollars, and there's now a new CNC machine in the machining program. So those are ways that the foundation is partnering with the college to help the college and the students experience quality education at an affordable price.
I'm sure that people who are watching this show are also thinking, well, this is great, and I'm so excited about the possibility of contributing to the success of NIC and the students. But what might it mean for me?
Right.
What about tax breaks, tax advantages?
The state of Idaho has been very gracious to the citizens and businesses in the state of Idaho. Not only can you make a gift of cash or appreciated assets of stock or real estate to the NIC Foundation, if you give a gift to an educational entity, you get a tax credit. So you can itemize on your federal and your state return, but you also get to take a state tax credit. And for individuals married filing jointly, that tax credit is up to $2,000 a year, and for corporations it's $10,000 a year. And so you can, for the cost of a few bucks, really divert your dollars to education versus the state tax fund. It's very creative, and it stays in your community and it invests in students. So through the NIC Foundation, we have been able to capitalize on that, no pun intended, but help our donors take advantage of great tax benefits.
Well, that's helpful information for all of us as well as for our viewers.
You talk about things staying in the community. You have a project in our waning moments here that I'd like to hear a little more about, because this directly interests me because I need a home. But I'd like to hear about the really big raffle as we wind things down.
Very good. For the 19th year, the NIC Foundation is giving away $285,000 on July 11th. We have a really big raffle that we've been doing as our primary major fundraiser each year. And the carpentry program at NIC builds the grand prize custom home that is the grand prize of the raffle. There are also other major prizes, and we only sell 5,000 tickets. We've sold out for every year up to this date, and we're hoping to do that again. So folks can buy tickets online, they can get them through various outlets in the community. And for all of this information, you can visit our website at nic.edu/foundation. You can find out about the really big raffle, you can find out about tax benefits of giving, and you can find out about where your dollars go through our annual report and other information.
Well, let's underscore that people can go to the website and purchase a ticket for the really big raffle.
You bet.
And that is a fun event. I've been every year. I just enjoy it, and there's a lot of excitement there. We have just a minute or two left, and so I would like to just see if there's anything else that any of my guests would like to add, a closing comment about the role of the foundation or how people can be involved.
Of course, I have a thought.
Okay, Rayelle.
Many of the donors that we've had the opportunity to work with have chosen to make a legacy, leave a legacy through the NIC Foundation. So when you're doing your will planning or you have a life insurance policy that's kind of served its purpose, you can leave the NIC Foundation as a beneficiary. You can direct it to scholarships or other program needs, and your family will have a wonderful way to honor themselves or someone else forever.
Good information. Thank you.
Welcome.
Would not have wanted to miss the opportunity to talk about estate planning and planned gifts. Thank you very much for joining us today on NIC Today. Please go to the foundation website, as Rayelle indicated, to find out more about the foundation. I'd like to thank Mick Armon, the board chair and liaison to the foundation, Tim Komberec, the president of the foundation board, and Rayelle Anderson, the executive director of foundation and director of development for NIC. Always, my thanks goes to Mark Browning.
Pleasure.
Again, thank you for joining us. Please go to the NIC website, nic.edu, and you're welcome to come to campus anytime. Thank you.